Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Work in Progress. So, before we start,
Yes.
have you watched us ever?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Okay.
And,
What do you think? Honest feedback?
No, it's very good. It's very honest and it's very real. That's why I've chosen to come here.
Amazing.
As well.
This is how we're gonna keep this because we want to talk about getting ahead in work, in life, in your career, building something better, growing. But we think that there is so much of this noise and stuff on the internet. So we want to keep it to our personal stories. And we never teach anybody, but what we do is we tell our stories and we say, okay, you know what? This is how we do. And if you want to try, you want to try as well. So this is it. And I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Usually, probably you noticed, we have one more guy over here.
Yes,
Today
where is
I'm
he?
alone. Michael is traveling. He's enjoying the exotic culture. He's in Vietnam, I think. Last week he was in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Before that he was in Thailand. So he's like the whole Asian trip. And before you ask, we have the normal vacation days in our company. I have no idea how he does that, but yeah. Yeah, so today what we want to talk about is we want to talk about basically, first, I want to start with your story because this is something, like I'm super interested in all the career shifts, how people make their career changes, how they make their career decisions. And when I heard your story, I was like, wow, I want to make the podcast about this. So this is the one thing we're going to cover.
Okay.
And of course, we're going to be talking about also the being healthy, being fit, longevity. How do we keep it in our modern busy lives? Because, and this is one of my recent favorite quotes. I have no idea who said this, but when I heard it, I thought like, wow, this is something that I want to keep in mind is a healthy person has 100 problems. A sick person has only one.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah. I have no idea who said that, but actually I have it written down in my notebook on my desk. So I keep this.
Yeah.
With that. So welcome.
Thank you.
Super
Thank you
happy
so
to
much.
have you here.
Thank you.
This is amazing. So let me start with this. So I understand you used to be, and like I have no idea how to frame it correctly because English is not my native language, but I will try. I will try to explain this. I will try to explain this.
Yeah.
So you used to be a lawyer, right? You used to be a lawyer back in the UK, or even in here.
Okay. I am still a lawyer.
Okay,
so,
sorry.
No,
for used
it's
to.
good.
Okay.
In the UK, we call it a solicitor.
Okay.
And then you can take further exams, and then you can also be someone who has rights of audience, which is like a barrister. So you can actively go to court. That all comes under the umbrella of lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And yes, I'm a qualified lawyer in the UK. And I did my law degree there. I did my master's there. I did my training there. And then I practiced as a lawyer in various law firms as a criminal advocate.
Criminal.
Yes.
Okay. Just for me and for our audience.
Use lawyer. Just use lawyer.
Yeah, but like criminal advocate. So
Okay, it's the criminal
What
that
did you do? Yeah,
excites you.
criminal word is quite catchy. So what did you do?
I'm a criminal defense lawyer.
Okay.
So don't ask me why. Maybe my warped world. Since very young, I was always very interested in criminal activity, criminology, and the psychology, actually, of why criminals commit crimes, things like this. And, of course, people watch TV and they get very obsessed with all these crime stories. People, even till today, when I'm the best dinner guest for everyone because they love listening to these stories of cases and what happens. So I had that interest.
If we want to switch to true crime podcast, then you will be our permanent
I'm your
guest.
person. I've got every type of case, yeah. So I studied law because it was that kind of was natural. I just knew I didn't want to do maths and science. So my A-levels were English, maths, and business economics. And then I kind of fell into law because, as you know, I like to talk. And
I think we'll see this.
And I like to express myself, and I'm very sociable. And so I thought, you know what, I'm interested in the law and how it works. So I did my law degree. But then I took it further. But within my law degree, I got an internship to America between my second and my third year.
Okay.
And it was in the deep South Carolina. Now we're talking... I'm going to give my age away very soon anyway.
No.
But we're talking around 1997, I would say, around that period. And so I successfully got this internship, and I was defending people on death row in South Carolina.
In the U.S.?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I wish Michael was here. Like, I think he would definitely like respect that. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So me and my friend, we got this internship. So we were 3 months in South Carolina. And then I actually ended up going to NYU. Then I went to various other parts. But the bulk was in South Carolina. And effectively, I was working in a criminal defense attorney's office.
Okay.
And it was a dream. I was a very human rights advocate then, and it was reopening people who had been sentenced to death and looking for avenues to reopen their cases or to stop their executions, because there's lots of clemencies and procedures before someone would get executed in America. So it's not just... So people would be on death row for like 20 years, even though they had been sentenced to death. So that's a whole... other thing, right?
Okay.
So anyway, fascinated with all of that, did that for 3 months, came back, and in my final year, carried on studying a lot of criminology as well as all the core subjects of law. And my professor and I got on very, very well, and he could see my sort of obsession and passion for it. Finished my law degree, and then I did a master's. And then in my master's, I specialized in family law in terms of child law, human rights, but then carried on with the criminology. And that really went into, you and I are born the same way. How do you become a serial killer, and how do I become a lawyer? You know,
okay, so basically what motivates people to become like who they are when they make all the crimes.
Yeah, the dynamics, the upbringing, the social economic backgrounds, the power issues, the egos, the male-female roles, all of these things. So that was part of my master's. When I finished my master's, I just wasn't ready yet to just go into a law firm and be your atypical lawyer. Which is, I have nothing against that, because eventually I did take that path, but I was still budding with excitement of wanting to explore these things more.
So you wanted to be more on the research side rather than practice?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my professor from my degree was running something called the Centre for Capital Punishment in Oxford Street, and the offices were, very famous street in London.
Okay.
And beautiful place. And part of it was set in the university I did my degree. And he offered me a job.
Okay.
To run the centre. This was like a dream for me.
Okay.
So I said, I'll do it for 6 months. There's a pattern here, you'll see later. I said, I'll do it for 6 months. He gave me 3 researchers under me. And now that internship that I had succeeded in getting in my second year of my degree, I was now running the entire program.
So just straight from the university, you immediately got to the management position, and you had a team that was working with you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the dream start for everybody.
It is. And
everything that you've just described, like it sounds like like a Hollywood movie about the lawyers. Like everything that you see, Suits is my favorite TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Suits is, I know you guys don't like this. I know real lawyers like hate Suits because until it's crap. No. But this is still like one of my favorite.
Harvey Specter's easy on the eye. It's okay.
This is my number 1/2 favorite TV shows along with Dr. House. But anyway, and like your story sounds exactly like that, like what you see in all the movies.
Yes, and I think this also goes to me being very sociable. One, I can say this now, maybe back then it would have been very premature.
Okay.
But probably if you ask me what's my most positive quality, it is making connections.
Okay, cool. Let's park that.
The professor who ran the criminology department when I was doing the degree, we stayed in touch. I was always interested in what was happening. He wanted to set this centre up. He got funding from the EU. And so we were going to Strasbourg.
Okay.
So there was law, lots of law. We were looking at penal policies. And then I was being sent to various places in the America.
Again.
Again, as part of my job there. So, yeah, then I went to various conferences and speaking to lots of different advocates, researchers, then Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, which have hanging as a form of execution. And back then, if you were in Jamaica and you were sentenced to death, the Privy Council in the UK would make the decision of your execution, not Jamaica.
Okay, it still was quite collateral, I guess.
Exactly. So, and you're looking at all these people's conditions of how they are in a cell, what are their rights, the lawyers' rights, reopening these cases. It was a dream for me. And why it was a dream? Because I said 6 months and I ended up staying for nearly 2 years doing that role. And it really gave me a headway. Again, lots of connections. But I got to a point where I thought, I've studied this much. I still didn't have the title of lawyer.
Okay.
Because you need to complete, after that, another 2 years, which is called a training contract.
Okay. As a practice.
So you have to complete certain seats. So in employment, in crime, housing, conveyancing, and then once you complete all of that, then you're qualified.
Okay.
So then eventually I joined a firm, and with a heavy heart, I left.
You completed this two years?
I did the 2 years. I did the 2 years at the centre, and then with a heavy heart, I left the centre. And my professor, who actually just passed away last month, and he was 85. So I still stayed in touch with him until now. And I became a lawyer. And then I soon understood that even though you get a seat in employment and in conveyancing and in corporate, so you get to see how all these different areas of law work, I very much quickly knew that I may not be the highest paid seat, but crime was where I wanted to be. I was very passionate to defend people's rights. I liked going to court. I liked to speak in court, negotiating, having the opposition, having the client. There's so many interpersonal skills you need. It's not what you learn at uni. You learn the texts.
Yeah.
This is real life.
So you were actually like at the court
every day.
Every day,
yeah,
defending the
criminals.
Your case, the criminals.
The accused, I should say.
Yeah. I should ask one provocative question. I cannot.
What do you know if you know they're guilty?
yeah, exactly. Let me ask this: were there some controversial cases that were controversial, where you were not sure if you're doing the right thing?
Well, we have solicitors' ethics. Okay. So you can't, if you now are in a prison cell, a police station is where it all starts, right?
Okay.
So in the UK, I'm talking, you would get arrested and you have a choice. If you don't have a lot of money, you can call a duty lawyer or you can call your own lawyer.
We saw it in the movie again.
So you say, I want Seetal, and I would come to the police station and we would have a conversation in private, in confidence. The police would tell me what you've been accused of. And the first rule of thumb was you don't ask the client too many questions. You look at the evidence, but you make your own judgments. You may have a client who clearly just comes out and says, I didn't do anything, or you may have a client who just doesn't want to speak and is being very shady. So it's, again, a skill. Everything is very tactical. It's a game of chess sometimes, even from the police station. And yes, I've met from people on death row who have killed several people to all sorts of crimes I covered in the UK, from your shop theft of crisps, in a store to lots of drug cases, rape cases, murder cases. So, yeah, I've been part and parcel of all of these things.
Did you sleep well?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think because I was so passionate as a lawyer, you become a bit desensitized to the situations that you're in.
Okay.
And so when I'm reading cases, I'm not getting emotional. You have to have a level of detachment. Otherwise, you can't do your job.
Yeah.
You know?
I can totally relate. The same when I do like HR projects right now, compensation projects. To me, a lot of like I deal with real people and their salaries, but honestly, to me, it often looks like the rows in Excel.
Yeah.
You don't associate it with the real people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because you cannot.
No. So in that way, when I'm looking at the cases or when I'm working with other, like if there was very serious cases, you work with more experienced barristers who are solely trained to do the Crown Court work and the higher advocacy. So we, you know, of course, I'm not inhuman. Of course, it's going to affect me. When I see certain crimes, when I read about certain crimes, and then the person who's accused of it is sitting right in front of me. But I think it came to a point was I actually didn't realize how much it probably affected me until I stepped away from it. When you're in it, you're just doing the job. And I always say to people, my role was to represent. I don't make the decision of innocence and guilt. We represent, and we have a jury system in the UK. They are randomly selected. The evidence is presented to them by both parties. A judge is there to make sure everything is intact and the law is properly applied. And the jury makes the decision. So it's not sometimes where some people say, oh, my God, you got him off. You know, it's yes, in layman's term, there were many not guilty verdicts that might have shocked me at times. There were some guilty verdicts that really also shocked me, and I really believed someone was innocent. And then there's times where you have to feel that you want to. I've had cases where I could see right from the outset that someone, especially rape, because it was such a easy allegation to make. People make it in all sorts of scenarios. A typical rape scenario would be a girl walking in the park and then she gets grabbed. But these were not your box standard cases. There were many rape allegations between marital rape and people making allegations for immigration reasons, divorce reasons, or if they're drunk and they have boyfriends and girlfriends. Lots of different and really reputable everyday people. One day they were a businessman with a business and a family, and then an allegation gets made from nowhere and you see their whole lives getting destroyed. So you cannot not get affected by it.
For how long have you worked like this?
So actively qualified officially as a lawyer, I think it was 2005. And I came to Dubai in 2019.
And during all this time, you've been a researcher and actively practicing lawyer at that time. Okay, so it's like a 20 years career block.
Yes.
In your life. I must ask this. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you describe the success over there?
Yeah.
And we can include, like in the word success, we can include everything. Fulfillment, money, growth, anything on the Maslow pyramid, whatever.
If I was a corporate lawyer, I'd probably be 6 times richer. So if it was just on a monetary basis, it definitely, I was in a very associated with some very good firms, so I did well.
Was it the whole time? Was it the one firm, or you changed multiple firms?
I changed only 3 times.
3 times.
But again, I'm in good relationships with all 3 still, and
so you were progressing in each one of them. There
were progressions, or sometimes just certain firms did different areas and gave me different responsibilities and became more senior in certain ones. And sometimes it's just, it was good. Change always makes you feel uncomfortable and helps you grow. I believe in that. So
Yeah, for sure.
massively. That's probably why I'm here. So yes, that way. And yes, I was fulfilled in what I wanted to achieve. And I wanted to be a criminal advocate, or I wanted to be a lawyer. I have regular clients in the fitness world now. You have your regulars in the criminal world. And I had a big selection of regular clients.
Okay.
So my name out in the criminal world was there.
Okay. So you had your professional brand.
Yeah, Seetal, or Miss Jane, it was my surname. A lot of people knew who I was. I had really good relationships with the prosecution. I know in suits and
Yes.
you see the prosecutor and the defense fighting and of course, but really, like, we all know we have a role to play.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I left for Dubai, certain numbers of judges even contacted me and really wished me well, couldn't believe that I was leaving. So I think that was a mark of my own achievement, that I touched the ushers. The ushers are people who call the cases in court. So they're your best friends, I'm telling you. If you want to get far in court, make friends with the usher, So from the ushers to the receptionist up to the judges, as well as obviously all my colleagues and seniors at work, I left with, a heavy heart, but with a really nice relationship and acknowledged by all these parties. So I would say that would have been my success.
What do you do now since you moved in here?
So I'm classified now as effectively a non-practicing solicitor, meaning I don't go to court. Clearly, I'm here in Dubai. But I'm still associated with one firm.
Okay.
And so I can, if I choose to go back to the UK, re-practice again.
Okay.
I have my practicing certificate, and now I just do basic trainings and help people with their trainings and just keep my certificate alive. So keep up to date with the law and help my firm out with some various things. Yeah.
Okay. But what do you do now, like, for a living?
There's a side-by-side story with that, you see. 20 plus years, I've been a lawyer, as you've said. But 32 plus years, I've been a fitness coach.
Oh, okay. So it was not like you shifted from one to
It wasn't a straight transition. I became a fitness coach at the age of 16, 17. But I was very sporty, very into fitness, but obviously very academic.
So basically, sport and fitness has always been part of your life.
It's my soul. Yeah. At the time in my schooling area, when I was around 15, 16, 17, and why I got into fitness, I was already... Do you know what rounders is?
No.
Okay. It's like baseball.
Okay.
Okay. It's a game we play.
Okay.
Netball. Do you know what netball is? Oh, God.
No.
Okay, netball's like basketball, but you don't bounce the ball. You have to stay still and throw it. It's another sport in the UK.
Okay.
I was captain of all these teams.
Okay.
That's the point I'm making. I did karate. I was very active.
That I know.
But around that time, actually, there was a taboo about eating disorders
Okay.
in the UK. And there was a lot of pressure, especially someone like me who was what you can call a grade A student, to do very well. And so there was, my interest in that became very apparent. I also felt the same pressures at the time. And I did drama as my O-level or GCSEs in the UK.
Okay.
And I did a whole monologue about eating disorders and pressure and life and body image. So actually it all stemmed back from then. And this monologue I just wrote it and presented it by myself clearly on stage. but it made about 350 people cry.
Okay.
And it had a lot of exposure. And from that, people thought with me that, you're just so lucky that you're just, you look a certain way or your body's a certain way. And I was bigger as a child, not big, but bigger than I am now. And, and I was trying to show in that monologue the pressures people go through in society, children, different ethnic backgrounds. I come from an Indian background, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer, or, all of that.
I heard the same.
I made a vow to myself at that stage that I wanted to become an aerobics teacher, a fitness teacher, so that I could get people to understand that actually there's a lot of hard work. I was already doing my fitness.
Before you became a lawyer, right? It was before.
Yeah, so between O levels and A levels, this is when that big transition of that came in.
So your family would not understand if you wanted to become
I had to hide and take... I didn't tell my mum that I was doing my aerobics course. I think... Sorry, Mum. But yeah, I didn't tell. She knows. And then I worked with people in clinics with eating disorders and body image and all of these things because I could relate to it. And I had girls and boys open up about things, which you're talking, it's not today's time. So back then, if you don't want to eat or if you felt guilty about eating a chocolate, it was like, just eat it. What's wrong with you? There was no...
What's the problem?
It was just so simple.
You don't want to eat? Like, no, got them, shut up and eat.
Yeah. From that, and I suppose you'll need me for about 4 podcasts because that was really, really a huge area of dealing with eating disorders, body image, people, bringing my experiences into it. And I still say today, I still get the same comments today. Well, you're lucky, and luck has nothing to do with longevity of how you are, So
a lot of people, like even back then and now you still hear it, like they attribute this like to overnight success or getting lucky or something like you're just lucky to be that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so from aerobics, I did aqua aerobics and I taught all the different circuits and step aerobics. I was known in the UK very much so for like 15 plus years for my step aerobics.
Step is when you have a block.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you kind of, I'll have to show you videos one day. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do it one day.
Oh my God. Okay.
But so there I was doing my studies.
All right.
But I got a job as a gym assistant in the evenings.
Okay.
And so I started making my connections.
So during the day, you were a legal researcher.
Yeah. Well, that time studying, doing my law degree and my master's.
And in the evening, you were in the gym.
Yeah. And then I started getting classes of my own. I remember my first class, there was like 4 people in it. I practiced in front of the mirror for like 5 hours. I was so nervous. But I still remember that feeling. And sometimes now, when I've presented on stage 300, 400 plus people, it's the same feeling, and it's good that I still have that.
Yeah, it's good.
That in your stomach. And I think if that goes, Yeah, so evenings, started building. So Seetal Fitness was actually born there. And I remember my parents kept saying, everyone, actually not just my parents, concentrate on being a lawyer and stop jumping around, basically.
Yeah.
But I never gave up. And I think those who know me and those who know me really well will know that my passion for fitness was deeper than just going to the gym 3 times a week or something. I taught every class with such passion. My discipline was engraved from back then. And it wasn't through guilt or it wasn't through like any other reason than I wanted to do it. Okay. I didn't have to go in the evenings to the gym.
Yeah.
And but at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Monday to Friday I would work. And I just...
Instead of going to the bar?
Instead of
with
going to
your
a bar,
fellow
instead
students?
of going out with my friends. And I just shone in that environment, I started teaching ab classes when I was like 17, 18. And I remember in my very first gym when they were doing these ab classes, like 15-minute tasters, and like 4 or 5 people would come. And it was just to create an ambience in the gym.
Okay.
And then when I took it over, like 30, 40 people would turn up and there was no space. And I thought, you know what, I think I'm pretty good at this. I can bring people together. It was not about just being a teacher. It was about bringing communities together.
Okay.
And so I saw that.
So for 20 years, this was your, like, being a lawyer, legal world.
Yeah.
It was your dominant profession.
Yeah.
And your passion at the same time
Yeah.
was everything about longevity, being fit, healthy,
Yeah.
and being and helping others to become fit.
Yeah.
In a healthy way.
Yeah.
All right, good. At what point of time
Did the switch happen?
Did the switch happen?
So
and
I
what
think
made you switch?
the basics is, yes, let's say if we do it in percentages, because you're a numbers man, I know, 80% would be lawyer.
Of course, I can
20%
understand.
part-time. But Seetal Fitness was growing.
Yeah.
And I started getting a lot of private clients.
Okay.
And I came to Dubai very regularly before I made the switch over here. And again, it was very random, but I came here on a vacation for my birthday, and there was a gym opened, a new one in Maidan, and a friend of mine had said to me, it's huge, it looks like a supermarket, you need to go see it.
Was it a WellFit?
It was the one before Welfare.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's no longer there now.
Okay.
And so I just went to see it because whenever I came to Dubai, I went to gyms. I always used to check the gyms out. And I got talking to a wonderful man called Trevor. He will love this shout out. And he's from the UK. And we just got talking. He was the GM for personal trainers there. And he was telling me. And and that was kind of left as it is. And then a day or two later, I can't remember, it was my last day. I just wanted to sunbathe by the pool. I was on vacation. And he said, why don't you just come down and speak to HR? They're here. And I said, HR for what? I'm here on vacation. I'm a lawyer in the UK. Just come. And I came and spoke to the HR and him and just explained who I was and what I was doing and etc. And then I went back, and maybe 6 to 8 weeks later, I can't remember exact time scales, they asked me if I would consider coming to Dubai and working with them. And they were looking for a trainer from the UK and a group trainer especially and things like that. This is probably the key to your question about satisfaction and job satisfaction and achievement. I remember very much so the day I decided to move to Dubai. I was sitting in court and my case was about to get called on. And I knew the judge who was coming out and I had spoken with the prosecution and et cetera, et cetera. I knew I was going to be successful in this case before it had even been heard. And my Mercedes was parked outside in the car park. I was in my black suit and I had my lovely home. Life was good, like I was fine. I was comfortable. I had a big uplift change in my personal life. I had separated from my partner, but we were still very good. So, and I thought, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I've ticked every box. Perhaps I can grow as a lawyer. Of course, there's always room to grow. But I just thought, am I going to do this for the next 40, 50 years or whatever it is, And I said, I'm going to go to Dubai, And that was when I made the decision. And I rang my now ex-husband, best friend, and said to him, I think I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go. What can go wrong?
So you were like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go?
And that was So I came in September to Dubai for my birthday. Mid-October, end of October was the conversations of would I come. And by December I was here.
So
But I had a safety blanket. My law firm thought I was having a midlife crisis. So they said, go. And they gave me, rather than me, I gave my resignation letter. And I was scared as hell. Right?
Ah, you were. You didn't sound like this.
Yeah. The thing was, that was the mindset of, I always like a challenge.
Okay.
Right? And sometimes I need good people around me to say, Seetal, just calm down for a minute, But when I actually thought about what I was doing, I was like, I'm not 25, okay? And I'm moving everything. And I have a very, very good setup. I come from a very big family. I have a very big friend circle. I have a very good job. I had very good clientele for Seetal Fitness.
The roots were deep.
Everything was there. And now I was going to up and just go to a country I know, but I've never lived in by myself. I had one family here, member, but I knew people here, but by myself. And all my life, I've never been by myself. I've lived with my parents. I've lived at uni, of course, with your friends. And then I got married and I had my partner. So this was insane in some people's world. But I have to admit that when I said I was going to do it, the reaction was insane. And
I could imagine. Like if you tell this to anybody, like, you know what, for 20 years I've been a successful lawyer, and you know what, screw that, I'm gonna go to a different country and be a fitness coach.
I think the way I saw it was I wanted to, all my life I've been about fitness. And I've always made it a side hustle. I've always made it a side thing. I've always made it, I'm a lawyer and this. I'm a lawyer and that. And I could see the growth of, not just from a business perspective, but from what I was doing and how many people's lives I was touching. And I just thought to myself, I want to dedicate 1 full year to fitness.
1 full year.
That was the plan.
I think before that we heard, let's do it for 6 months or something. And you mentioned that we will hear this pattern.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
It was your trial period.
Yes.
In your head.
Yes.
Okay.
So my law firm,
2019, you said for 1 year you're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're in 2026.
Yeah. You see the pattern.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
So when I gave my resignation letter in, they rejected it. So I was like, oh, please let me go. I was doing very well there and I had a great relationship with my law firm and my equity. The equity partners were great. And they said, go and do it. And we'll give you a sabbatical. And we'll keep your job open.
That's quite soft. Great safety net.
So then I really had nothing to lose.
Absolutely. In that setup, like, you just go.
Yeah. And my ex-husband was going to deal with all the logistics of house and stuff like that. So really, it was nothing to lose. So I up and left.
Okay.
And I came to Dubai. And then the fun started.
So in 2019, you became a full-time... I'm not sure if I can call you a fitness coach.
Yeah.
That's not it. Like, what you do is not being a fitness coach. Neither can I call you like a yoga teacher or something.
I would say wellness.
Wellness.
Yeah, fitness and wellness. I come under those brackets now.
How do we differentiate?
Wow. Well, I think fitness, both do interact as far as I'm concerned. And your mental health is your fitness as well. And that's how I see it. But back then, I guess I was a rookie fitness. I was a cardio junkie. I taught your atypical types of classes, your HIIT classes, your circuit classes, things like that, cycle spin classes. And, I will confess, even though I taught yoga to myself back then and I had done some teacher training, I never taught it in groups or anything like that outside to other people. Yoga was for older people and yoga was something I was not interested in at all.
Yeah.
And it's something I really firmly believe in saying to people, whatever you do, I use the example of teaching. Unless you are 100% in, you cannot convey or communicate something to another person. So if I taught HIT and all these things, it was with passion.
Okay.
It was with love. It was what I do.
So you need to be high about HIT.
So with yoga, I wasn't there. I grew up, I'm Indian, I'm Brahmin, which is the roots, of yoga.
Yeah.
I grew up with saying all the prayers and things like this. So in some ways I had a head start of understanding the culture and history of yoga. But I never appreciated it. But when your calling comes, and it came at quite a significant time for me, and when it came, it changed my whole dynamic here in Dubai.
So how would you call, you said you consider yourself more of a wellness
Now
rather than fitness. So we trained, like you trained me together for what, like three sessions we had, right? 3, and we're gonna have more. Like I'm bought in 100%. Like I'm in this cult. Whatever.
We've got it on video now.
yeah, we got it. I have no troubles to commit to that. I used to try CrossFit when I was maybe like, I don't know, 6 years ago or something. Like all my friends, they were very like into CrossFit.
Yeah.
We had like a gang at one point of time. It was like 12 or 13 people of us. So we occupied the entire CrossFit area.
Nice.
And we had a coach who was like running us there.
Yeah.
And my friends, they were still deep there. It's not that, but for me, like it was not my thing at all. Like CrossFit was not my thing at all. I used to go to the gym. I know what it is. I know what CrossFit is. I know what yoga is. And what you do is neither of these or a little bit of everything. So definitely, like when my wife told me that, you know what, like now I have a yoga t-shirt and we do yoga, but it's not really like yoga. I'm like, okay, yoga is something like very mindful, slow, whatever, not for everybody. And then like she told me that her WIP shows some crazy numbers and she feels like crazy after that, like super drained, super dead after that. And then I tried myself. And I would say that what you do is like somewhere between CrossFit, yoga, strength training, HIIT. I think if we had a bicycle in our like building gym, we would do the cycling as well or something. God forbid. But yeah, so
can be arranged.
How would you describe it, and how did you come up to this? Because it's something very unique.
Let's just say when I moved to Dubai, scary, everything, blah blah blah, was working in this gym, secure job. COVID hit.
So just to clarify, you started in the gym as fitness coach?
Yeah. Employed.
Yeah. Something we can see in every gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a very prestigious gym.
Okay.
It wasn't just your typical gym. It was a good role and good connections. That was the issue again.
Okay.
It was in Maidan. So yeah, lots of different types of people who are attending this gym. And I made some very, very good connections there. COVID came. Everything shut down. I've left the UK. I've told you the risk I've taken. I left everyone, and now I'm alone in a flat in Marina by myself. No gyms open, lockdown, etc. So that was a very, very mentally testing time for me. As well as I got whatever it was, if it was COVID, whatever. I got sick. Nobody around me. And I had to dig deep mentally and physically because I love training. And now we couldn't train. We couldn't train outside. But I was trained myself. And then I left. Eventually, when things started getting back to normal, I didn't come to Dubai to work in a gym. This is the ambitious side of Seetal coming out again. And everybody was like, come back to London, come back to your law job, come back, your house is here, just come back, you know? And I was like, no, I don't want to. So then I came back, left the gym, my job, and I...
Oh, you came back.
So I came back to Dubai because we weren't allowed to go to the UK. So I didn't go back for 18 months. So eventually I went back, and then I came back to Dubai just after, I'm talking 2-3 weeks later.
Okay.
Where everybody convinced me to go back to UK. I wanted to show people who I was. So even though I had some backup kind of work here, I wanted to concentrate on the fitness, and I got introduced to an old colleague of mine from the gym I worked in before, and she was a yoga teacher. And she said, come and redo your teacher training. Because I was sitting in my flat, I came back, I didn't have a single class, I didn't have a single client, nobody would give me a break. I had no income coming in other than I had a little backup thing. But other than that, I had nothing. And after being so elevated in the UK, I was effectively nothing here. It's the best lesson I will tell people to do.
You got a cold shower, like a long cold shower.
When you have to reprove yourself all over again, when you're not 25 or 35, when you're older, and you're by yourself, you got to dig deep. And it was the best at the time. It felt like the worst thing. I had lost all my confidence. I didn't believe in my own fitness the way I do it. Instagram became so big. I didn't have an Instagram account until I came to Dubai properly. I was looking at social media and didn't really quite understand how it all worked. I went to every gym in Dubai. I was watching trainers. I was like, what the hell? What do I do? So I went back and did my yoga teacher training. I needed a distraction. I needed a focus. I needed a purpose to stay. And then she also then gave me, very, very grateful to her, Flavia, some slots at Expo to teach on stage. And that's where Seetal Fitness Yoga was born.
Okay.
I started using basic yoga. I qualified, obviously, again, and used the basic structure of yoga, but I added my twist of core work, strength work, and people loved it.
And here I want to understand a little bit more, because we always talk as well that being fit or like you have muscles and being healthy, it's different.
Yeah.
So how is it different? And yeah, so why, for example, I can lift 100 kg when I'm in the gym, and like when I lift, it's not like one time. I can do 3x12 with the platform, 120, 110 kg with my legs. But when we do the session, I barely can move my legs.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It goes back down to the definition of fitness, okay, and strength. And this is what I love: weight training. So I wouldn't put it out there that I have nothing against lifting weights in the gym.
Okay.
It's absolutely necessary for men and definitely for women. And it's something I do myself.
Okay, great. Resistance training?
Resistance training up there, 10 out of 10. But that alone is not going to give you mobility, flexibility, pure strength, your own body strength.
What's pure strength?
Your body strength.
What's that? Is it different from being able to lift the...
Absolutely.
something?
So you sitting on a leg press on a lovely chair, which supports your back, which gives you handles to hold, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you pushing the leg press to see the strength of your legs against resistance and load. And you work to a point to cause stress on your muscle so it will grow. That's your basic to failure.
That's my what?
That's the basics people do. You stress your muscle so it grows.
Yes.
Yeah, and you push the weights till you can no longer push. So you're not going to be able to do 35 reps, are you? If you're at 100 kg or whatever you were doing.
No, you always try to do like 3x12, and that's it. And the 12th should be the one that you can barely
to
make.
failure. Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay. So But then when you're with me, and if I say to you, hold a body weight squat, so just hold it for a minute, yeah, you fall.
No.
Because now you have to support your own body system. You have to use your own core strength. You have to use your back. You have to use your own legs. You're using your feet to ground you and support you. So now this is your real body strength. This is what I call your real body strength. And you need to master that to complement your weight training. Because if you can't lift your own leg up in the air, even if you're doing a sit-up and I tell you to raise your legs and reluctantly you eventually do it, if you can't lift your own legs, if you can't hang on a bar, and hanging is a very important isometric exercise, wrist strength, grip strength, upper body strength. For guys, I say 2 minutes. For girls, at least a minute to a minute and a half. Mm-hmm. That's your real upper body strength, not sitting and pushing dumbbells.
Bench?
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, nothing should be in isolation. And this is when you're asking me what's the difference between a fitness and wellness coach. With wellness, I've now become an all-rounder. Mm-hmm. So it's your fitness, your cardiovascular fitness, your muscular strength fitness, your mobility, your flexibility, your balance, and the most important, your breath. I never worked like this before. They go together. And if you learn to master your breath in the kind of work we do in our sessions, you inevitably will lift better in the gym because you know how to use your breath, how to get the maximum oxygen capacity, how to hold your breath, how to exert force. But it's a learning process, right? I'm learning every day. And so just going into a gym, not warming up properly, not actually mobilizing your body, your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, your mind, they all come in one session. Your wife, for example, when sometimes she's at a very stressful meeting, she works online a lot or she's on the computer, I will always spend the first 5-10 minutes just chilling her out, just chilling her mind out by doing the mobility work before we go into anything to exert. Because stress on stress is just heightening all your emotions, your cortisol levels, your insulin levels. And then what is the purpose? Why are we training? So you learn, well, I learn, the older I get, to train more smarter and intelligently rather than just running in and doing a HIIT class, which I have, again, nothing against. But people need to understand why are they training if they want to do it forever.
I understand for the stress. If you put stress on stress, like this is like you cannot do that.
No.
And that's how you put the wellness into the fit. Okay, great. So with that, then my obvious question is: this is something I personally struggle with. I often hear that people say, like, you know what? I go to the gym in the morning, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., 7 a.m. And it gives me so much energy. Mm-hmm. It gives me, like, it powers me for the entire day. To me, after any training session
you're dead.
With you in the gym, after tennis, I'm dead. I need at least 1 or 2 hours to recover, to become sane again, to bring myself back. So, and it has always been like this. And now, like, I'm in my period of life where I finally get joy out of the sport. Before that, it was like, you gotta go, you must go because, like, you're getting fat or because you are, like, everybody do this, and, like, you don't want to be that, you know, lazy fat thing lying on a couch. Okay. Or even before that, when I was a kid, I was never sporty, but my parents would tell me, like, you gotta go. Like, my father was like, I don't care. You go to the swimming pool and you do something you choose what, but you go to some sports.
Yeah.
It can be like in my life, it was like karate. I tried the gymnastics, like where you do the like rope climbing, the jumpings and all of that.
I will
like,
bring ropes to the next session. This is interesting.
I did these things. Like I know how to like how to do the roll in the air. I actually did this, but I was never sporty. Like to me, it was always some kind of torture. And now it's the first time in my life where I actually enjoy sports. So I'm looking forward to have the session. I'm looking forward to have our tennis session, and then like we also have a group of friends who are also into tennis, and we discuss this. Like this is pretty cool. So you get this. Okay, good. But even now, when I genuinely enjoy this and looking forward to it, I cannot say that it gives me energy. I can say that after that, I need to recover to my normal life. So my natural question is, how do I balance this? And how do people working 10 to 12 hours a day, like we office hamsters, how do we balance the like actual like fit life, wellness and fitness and fit life and everything? How do we balance this? How do we keep the energy level? How do we like insert it, embed it in our daily life? What would you recommend me to do?
Well, look, the first thing is everyone is individual. So I think it's very important not to box it into any like training morning or training evening, you know. Everyone, I'm a
consultant.
Myself.
I always need to box everybody somewhere.
I know how your mind operates.
Structure.
Yes.
I need to have the roadmap, the structure, everything. Yeah.
But like, let's just say, I was doing it myself in the UK. I was doing an 8, 10, 12-hour day, and then I was teaching in the evenings and doing fitness in mornings and evenings, etc.
Yeah, that's why you know how to deal with us.
And here, my personal training clients, I train a lot of lawyers and people in very high-powered, high-stressful jobs. First things first, I just have to throw this word out because if I don't, and I'll regret it when I leave this podcast, is discipline, okay? And consistency. I lied, 2 words. Discipline and consistency is the only formula for longevity. That's the first thing.
Okay, we got all the keywords over here. Okay. So let's unbox this.
Discipline is that you don't have to kill yourself in every session, right? The whole point of you going to train, and I'm so glad now you're enjoying it, is it's not supposed to be seen as torture or punishment. It's supposed to be seen as something which is probably the best investment of your life, okay? And something to add and complement to what you're doing in your daily life, whether it's sitting at a desk, whether it's going to meetings, whatever your nature of your main job is. And it's not just your training. You have to look at the whole aspect. You have to look at how you're sleeping, how you're drinking water, how you're eating, what your personal relationships are. You're a box man, so you need to look at all these boxes. Probably why you're wearing a WHOOP now.
Dashboard.
Right? Because you need to see things. So you can't expect to be on a computer till 1 a.m. doing your work, if let's just say you are, and have 4 or 5 hours crappy sleep, not eat properly in the morning or hydrate yourself, go to a 6 a.m. workout, you're going to be dead, right? So
that's what I actually try to do.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I'm saying is that I get tired after workouts. It's normal to be tired and need that recovery period. But what do you do? How do you fuel yourself after your workouts? How much do you rest time do you take? How much recovery time do you take? And each workout, I'm a massive believer in variety. So everything doesn't have to be...
Oh, that I noticed.
Yes. You don't have to be strength training every single day. Put your strength training in, put your yoga training in, put your cardio in. And this variety also will change the responses in your body. So this is the way to manage your stress. And what reactions I get from my clients who've all now been with me 4 or 5 years. So I'm able to see their progress and I'm able to see how they manage. And I have someone, and I have a lot of respect for him because he has such a difficult job and he manages in HR and he manages people from Saudi to here. If we have a session at 7 p.m. and he's in a meeting at 6:15, he honors it. He will honor his session with me. Even if he's tired, he won't cancel it. And he will always come out feeling better at the end. At the start, it's difficult.
Yeah.
And he's tired and etc. And you get endorphins from training. Your hormonal system changes. Your body gets into different shifts. So what I would say, there is no magic formula. So if you want me to say to you, if you do this, then everything's going to be great and you're not going to be tired every day. But you have to look at all of these factors as a roadmap when you are training, if you're training for longevity.
If we try to get, I understand, like it's not the tick boxing exercise, or there is no like the magic pill to say, you know what, like do that and that's it.
Yeah.
But if I decide today that I want to become more fit while keeping my while keeping my lifestyle is pretty much the same. I mean, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to build new habits and so on. But I will still be working 10 to 12 hours a day. Mm-hmm. I will still be, I don't know, for example, like not me, but for example, somebody is like 10, 12 hours, family man, they have a kid, la, la, la. So all the big boxes of their life are there, and they want to build a habit to become a little bit more fit. So, or should not I say fit, to more
active.
Okay, let's call it to be more active. So what do they do? Like, how do you start building this? Because habits, this is all about discipline and consistency. So what can I do, again, as an office hamster? What can I do today to improve
I would
a little
say,
bit?
look, 4 or 5 things, right? Number one, definitely do things that you enjoy. It doesn't mean that you have to go into a gym, right? Go, if you want to be outside, if you want to do team sport, paddle is everywhere, as we know here at the moment.
Yeah,
things like that. As a tennis player, that's not good then. You have to do something you enjoy to be active.
Okay.
Right? That's the first thing I say to people. My clients, I don't always take them into a gym. All right? We go outside. We do different things. We go by the beach. We do.
So find the activity you actually enjoy. This is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then there is more chances after 21 days you'll stick to it. We know the 21-day rule for habits, right? So do something you enjoy, but also you in that itinerary of your life of work, whether it's family, whether it's sleep, all of these things, this cannot be seen as a addition or it's a necessary. Something has to, this 30 minutes, you don't have to do an hour. Let's just start with 30 minutes, is something that is necessary and important as your job. And once your mindset starts thinking like that CEO I train, he can be in a board meeting, but his fitness and his health is as important as that board meeting.
So it becomes your top priority.
It's your life. I say this with the biggest respect to everyone. It doesn't matter how important you are. It doesn't matter how rich you are. There is no price on your health. There is no price. You can have all the money in the world if you don't have your health. It's the only one problem you have.
It's again exactly what we started with.
And I've learnt this. Why did I make the transition? I would be very, very rich if I was a lawyer here in Dubai. And I wasn't. I would be driving my Mercedes again and in a lovely, nice house. I chose the difficult path because actually my biggest investment is my own health. I train lots of wealthy people. And so they said the penny drops. What are you going to do? Enjoy your wealth when you're 60, 70, but you have no health?
Exactly.
Too late. Now is the time to make the change.
I heard once, like, I'm 33 now. I'm still like I'm young, but I understand that it's 33. And I heard once one of the like tech guys I follow, he said, like first 35 years in your life, you live like it's a trial period. And then after 35, your trial ends and you got to pay for insurance. it was health
like
related. So like you're 35, you don't care about it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you start experiencing different things, and you're starting paying for what you did in your 20s, 22, or what you most likely, not what you did, but what you didn't do and what you weren't doing, like you were not active enough or something. So, and in 2026, I decided, and actually Dash as well, my wife, decided that this is going to be our health year. Like we want to put more efforts in becoming more healthy and in fit and active and all of that. So we're working on that. And that brings me to the last question I want to cover. We wanted to cover so much more.
I know.
But
I'll come back, I promise.
Yeah, we should make a follow-up. Because my co-host, partner, Michael, he's also into like active habits. He's trying to build the habits to become more active. So we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the word longevity multiple times.
Yes.
How do we define it? What does it mean? And what is it all about?
Okay. Longevity, this might be controversial, I don't know, but this is me, okay? It's not a pill you take. It's not a red light therapy you go under. Longevity for me is a collection of habits and decisions you make in your lifetime on how well you are physically, mentally, spiritually, and how kind you are to yourself and honest on how you want to live your life. Now, it's a bit well-winded, but what I mean by this is it's a buzzword here, and I've been to many longevity conferences, etc.
Every second nutritionist talks about longevity.
In the most simplest terms, I still want to do what I'm doing, maybe with a few adaptations, when I'm 80. So if that's what I want to do, I want to move well, I want to be pain-free, I want to breathe well, I want my heart to be healthy, and I want my mind to be healthy. Now, to have all of those elements together, there is no magic pill. And I'm really sorry if people think there is, There isn't.
I think we're all looking for something quick, something easy, the magic pill. And it's not there.
It's not there. I'm going to be 49 this year. And I
cannot comprehend this. Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm naturally this way. I have all my flaws. I'm not saying, but I've not done anything to my appearance or to my body to make myself look younger. And I'm embracing aging the best way I can. It's not easy. There are times and insecurities for everybody. But what I will say is that it's my habit since that 17-year-old who qualified as a fitness trainer, who was seeing people with eating disorders on appreciating health and fitness, that I still have now as a 48-year-old. That discipline and that habit is the key to longevity. You can have I wear a WIP myself. You can have every...
What's your WIP age?
34.
34?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
We are the same age in our WIP.
We are, but not in life.
Not in life.
And, when I see my WIP ages,
Actually, you are young. Your WIP is younger than mine.
Yes.
Mine is 35.1.
Yeah, 34. So I'm 14 years younger in the WIP world, which is great, but don't get obsessed with anything. That's what I say. Listen. The best way is close your eyes, breathe, and listen to your body. It tells you so much. Of course, do some red light. It's good for you. Do some relaxation, ice bath, saunas, daylight. There's so much information out there. Do it all. But honestly, you need to slow down and listen to your body. I need to do that at times as well. And that will be the key. I remember at 25 saying at 45, I still want to be doing burpees, and I am. And next year I turn 50, and I hope I'm still doing what I'm doing, And but it comes as you have to apply intelligence. You can't just go into a gym. You can't just go into a yoga class and start doing headstands and handstands. That's not what yoga's about. You got to put all this together. And what I will say to you about this Seetal Yoga, Not Yoga, which has now become almost a brand in itself, the Seetal Yoga, Not Yoga has brought people like you and into doing yoga who never would have done yoga.
No.
On a Tuesday night, I run a session which started with 4 people. I now get 80 to 90 people coming, where there are people who would have never exposed themselves to this kind of wellness that have agreed to do it and learn it and consistently doing it. So I just hope that I can continue the Seetal Yoga, Not Yoga, without disrespecting yoga too much. And I say that always, but I always start traditionally and I end traditionally. But in between, anything can happen.
This is amazing. I would like to...
We could carry on for hours, couldn't we?
Yeah. We need at least like 1 more hour to cover everything I would like to discuss. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
This is amazing. I was amazed and fascinated by your career story. This is like, because this is my passion as well. I want to, I study a lot about people, motivation, behavior, and productivity. And I want to help people with their career, to navigate their careers, because there's so much crap out there about careers. And we all have this luggage in all about how you should build your career. Our parents told us one thing, their grandparents told us told them another thing, so nobody has a clue how to do that. And your story tells everybody that you can always make the choice, follow your passion, and you can be successful in your passion. You can be successful in your day job. You can be successful in doing things that you think right. Yeah. And one more thing that I definitely learned from you and that I'm taking from your career story, even there, is that in our today's lives, we are not limited by one career path. No. Never. Definitely we need to, we always have this squiggle career or even parallels. And we can be successful in both. And of course, for that, you need to have the energy. You need to have your fit, health, longevity. You need to be that.
Absolutely. And one thing I will say, one last thing, I know we're very limited now, is drop your ego. I always say, drop the ego. Being a lawyer comes with a very prestigious ego. And being a fitness trainer comes with a different prestige. I always play the game a lot where I tell people I'm a wellness coach and I will never tell them I'm a lawyer. And you see people's reactions. But when I dropped that ego, it was an ego drop to change country, change career, lose my professional status, drive any old rental car when I was driving a Mercedes, live in a 1-bedroom flat when I own a 4-bedroom house, become a nobody in a different country when you were so important in another country. But by dropping my ego and by creating such a difficult scenario for myself, that's where I grew. Okay. And that's where, with you in your work that you do, tell people to follow their passion, 100%.
Interesting. Great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for watching the Work in Progress podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. To continue the conversation, join our WhatsApp community. The link is in the description below. Hit like and subscribe. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Spotify. And with that, we will see you in 2 weeks.